My life was pretty straightforward until Jake came along. I was a fitness trainer at a local gym, spending my days helping folks shape up, which kept me busy enough not to dwell on the lack of drama in my personal life. That all changed the day Jake walked into my gym. "Hey, I'm looking to switch up my routine. Got any killer moves to start with?" he asked, his tone light but his gaze intense. I gave him a once-over. He wasn't the usual newbie, unsure of which machine to try first. No, he looked like he knew his way around a gym, but was here for something more. "Sure," I replied, leading him to a set of weights. "Let's see what you've got." That first session turned into a week, then a month, and our casual chats grew longer and more personal. Jake owned a small family restaurant, famous for its authentic Italian dishes. "It's all about the sauce," he'd say, "and nobody makes it like my mom." He talked about his mother with a mix of admiration and frustration, a combo that hinted at deep family ties. One afternoon, as we wrapped up a particularly intense workout, he caught me off guard. "Listen, Emily, I've been thinking. How about dinner at my place? You can meet my mom and try that sauce I keep bragging about." I hesitated, more out of surprise than disinterest. "Yeah, why not? I'm curious if it's as good as you claim." Dinner was cozy, the food incredible, and the company surprisingly comfortable. His mother, Anna, was all warm smiles and hearty laughs, though her eyes seemed to size me up with every glance. His younger sister, Sophia, dropped by too, her presence more prickly, her words sharp and quick. "So, Emily, Jake tells us you're quite the fitness guru," Sophia said, a smirk playing on her lips as she eyed the muscles I worked hard to build. "Ever deal with hopeless cases, or do you just make the fit fitter?" I chuckled, taking her jab in stride. "I believe everyone has potential. It's all about finding the right motivation." Jake was a constant during those early days, always showing up at the gym at the same time, always finding a reason to talk a little longer. "You know, I never believed in fate or any of that stuff," he confessed one evening as we closed up the gym together. "But meeting you? Maybe I was wrong." His words were a mix of rough charm and clumsy sincerity. It was refreshing, and despite the nagging voice in my head warning me to take it slow, I found myself falling for him. Hard and fast, like a rookie taking on too much weight without a spotter. One chilly evening, as we walked to our cars, he stopped and faced me, his expression serious. "Emily, I'm not good at this fancy talking, and I don't have a smooth line to throw your way. But I like you, a lot. What do you say we make this official?" It was abrupt and straightforward. No games, no dancing around the subject. That was Jake, direct and all in. I smiled, my heart hammering in my chest. "I say, yes. Let's see where this goes." And just like that, I was no longer just the fitness trainer at the local gym. I was Jake's girlfriend, and soon enough, his wife. Moving into Jake's mom's house right after we got married wasn't exactly what I had pictured for our happily ever after. Jake told me it was important to him because of his family ties, but living with his mom, Anna, and his sister, Sophia, was tough from the start. They didn't hide their displeasure about me joining the family, and things got tenser day by day. The house was always bustling, and somehow I ended up with more than my fair share of chores. After long hours at the gym, I'd come home to an endless list of tasks. The old washing machine was a nightmare, it broke down so often that I half joked it had something personal against me. But nobody else seemed to notice or care, especially not Anna or Sophia. I remember one evening after dinner, I was trying to fix that blasted machine again, and I could hear them in the kitchen. "She doesn't even know what she's doing," Sophia laughed, not bothering to lower her voice. "Watch, she'll flood the basement next." Their laughter echoed down the hallway, stinging more than I wanted to admit. I bit my tongue, focusing on the task at hand. It wasn't just the washing machine, it was everything. From cooking to cleaning, my efforts were just another source of entertainment for them. Cooking was the worst. Italian cuisine was sacred in this house, and my attempts were apparently blasphemous. I tried to follow Anna's recipes to the letter, but nothing seemed to work. One night, as I struggled with a supposedly simple pasta dish, Sophia hovered in the doorway. "Is that supposed to look like that?" she asked, a smirk playing on her lips. "It's nothing like Mom's." I gritted my teeth, stirring the sauce that just wouldn't thicken. "Well, I'm trying my best here." Sophia snorted. "Maybe your best isn't good enough. Did you ever think of that?" I wanted to snap back, to defend myself, but what was the point? It wouldn't change anything. Jake, whenever he was around, seemed to shrink a little more each time his sister or mother criticized me. He never stood up for me, his silence was as loud as their laughs. "Hey, Emily, just leave it," Jake would say quietly later, trying to avoid any confrontation. "It's not worth it." Dinner times were an ordeal. I'd set the dishes on the table, hoping for a peaceful meal, but it was like sitting down in a lion's den. "You know, in Italy, they'd probably ban you from the kitchen for this," Anna would joke as she tasted my food, the others chuckling along. "Yeah, maybe stick to what you know, gym stuff," Sophia would add, passing the salt like it was a peace offering I didn't deserve. I would nod, smile, and swallow the hurt, my frustration simmering like the sauce that never turned out right. Living with Jake's family made every day feel like a battle I wasn't prepared for. As my pregnancy progressed, the house chores, which already felt like they were all on me, became even more demanding. Instead of getting any help or understanding from Anna and Sophia, I felt their hostility grow stronger. One afternoon, I was trying to vacuum the living room, moving slower than usual, because of my growing belly. Anna walked in, watched me for a moment, and then let out a sigh that seemed to carry all her disapproval. "Emily, you missed a spot over there. And look at how slow you're moving. This house is going to fall apart at this rate," she said, pointing at a corner I hadn't gotten to yet. I straightened up, feeling the strain in my back. "I'm doing the best I can, Anna. It's a bit harder with the baby." She just sked and shook her head. "In my time, we didn't let a little thing like pregnancy slow us down. You need to toughen up." The lack of sympathy stung, and I bit my tongue to keep from snapping back. Sophia was no better. Later that day, as I was folding laundry, she came into the room and started flipping through the clothes I had just stacked neatly. "You do know these aren't folded right, don't you? They should be able to stand up on their own, like how Mom taught us. Here, let me show you." Again. She tossed the shirt she was holding back onto the pile, messing up what I had done. As she refolded the same shirt with sharp, practiced movements, I felt my frustration rise. "Sophia, I appreciate the lesson, but I've folded clothes before. I'm not an idiot." She just raised her eyebrows, a cold smile playing on her lips. Could have fooled me. But hey, if you're okay with being mediocre, who am I to argue? Her words felt like a slap, and for a moment, I just stood there, watching her make my efforts seem pointless. It was the same with cooking. Every meal I attempted was met with criticism or outright laughter, especially if I tried to make anything Italian. One evening, I decided to try again, making a simple pasta dish I thought I had mastered. I was stirring the pot when Sophia walked into the kitchen. "What's that supposed to be?" she asked, peering into the pot with a skeptical look. "It's spaghetti carbonara. I thought it might be nice for dinner," I said, hoping for a change in her usual harsh tone. She took a fork, twirled some pasta onto it, and tasted it with an exaggerated expression of disgust. "Nice? This is what you call nice? I wouldn't feed this to the dog. It's all wrong." I slammed the pot's lid down a little harder than necessary. "Well, it's what's for dinner, so if you don't like it, you're welcome to make something else." The tension in the house grew every day, and Jake's absence didn't help. He was always at the restaurant, always busy, and when he was home, he avoided any conflict. Whenever I tried to talk to him about how his sister and mother were treating me, he'd just sigh and say something like, "I know it's tough, Emily, but try to hang in there. They'll warm up to you eventually. Just give it time." After giving birth to my son, I hoped things might get better, but the reality was just the opposite. I had gained a good amount of weight during pregnancy, which became the new source of their mockery. Look at how